today's news, netizens discuss why they hate international K-pop fans.
This article was originally taken from the Korean internet. I call it the Korean internet because it actually is the Korean internet. Titled, Fans that Korean fans hate more than Chinese or Japanese fans. If you put yourself into a Korean shoes, a teenage Korean K-pop loving person's shoes, you know that Japan and China are the biggest consumers of K-pop other than Koreans. So if you're watching this from the US or Canada or say Finland or Brazil, because K-pop is popular in all the countries, Koreans know that Chinese are huge consumers of K-pop. So for them, it's difficult to imagine what an American teenager, for instance, might be thinking when it comes to K-pop, which is why this happens.
Yes. My first impression of this is there's a lot of cultural misunderstandings that are going on. And it's one of those things where even just reading their comment section, like, I can kind of get it. I can understand the Korean perspective on this. I also disagree with it at the same time.
I think we as humans just don't listen to each other enough. Adults have this problem all the time too, not necessarily with K-pop, but take climate change, for example. People who are climate change deniers, there are still a lot of people out there that don't believe that climate change or global warming, or whatever you want to call it, is happening. Those people, as soon as you start talking to them about climate change, they zone you out and they're not listening at all. And therefore, you can't have an open and honest discussion because people aren't listening, which is precisely what's going on here.
Yes, in fact, some of you may have quit listening already because you started talking about climate change.
And this is not a discussion about climate change, but I'm just making a comparison. When it comes to K-pop, people are going to forever misunderstand each other.
I think the thing more than anything else that sticks out to me with this article is just the otheringness of people. It's like, we're Korean K-pop fans, we own the right to Korean K-pop, and the rest of you guys are others. By human nature, we tend to see everybody else as another, and like, they're not like us. But deep down, there's a lot of aspects of things that are very similar. And cultural differences will happen. Believe me, there are cultural differences between the two of us, he being from New York, me being from Pennsylvania. But even so, at the heart, there's so many things that are so similar. And why can't people just band together and say, hey, we all like Korean K-pop? That's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, it was saying that there are fan fights between fans of SM and fans of YG. Like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Well, I remember back in the day when there were fights over who liked the Backstreet Boys and who liked NSYNC.
And where are those people today?
Well, one sitting right here. The thing that made me laugh is they could almost be talking about me, I feel, in reading this, because I am an international K-pop fan. And yeah, there are things that I don't necessarily know every aspect about Korean culture. I do make assumptions based on my personal experience of having lived there for 6+ years and talking to people who work in the industry and kids who are interested in K-pop in Korea and in the US, but I think that they should embrace this whole international K-pop loving community because this is what is going to propel K-pop into the future. Make it more popular internationally and make Korea more popular internationally and create more promotion and love of their country.
That's another thing I was just thinking. There are plenty of Koreans that really admire and adore and are thankful for the foreign international fans and not just the ones in China, all over the world. Even if they're not K-pop fans, they're glad that you guys, if you're watching from a Western country, which plenty of you do, that you're fans of this sort of thing because it does help build up Korea's overall repertoire and culture and things that are good about Korea, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, because I know people who want K-pop concerts in their country and they're not getting as many K-pop concerts. I also think that people just like to hate way too much on the internet.
I really don't think that Koreans that much, like all of Koreans in general, if you stick them into one group, hate the international fans that much. I think it's just some teenagers who are spouting off for whatever reason, and they're the ones that got put into this article.
Yep, isn't that what always happens though? A minority that goes and makes a stink ends up becoming popular because people like to point out the people who are complaining. Complainers complain the loudest.
Click the like button, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to subscribe. That's it. We're out of here. Hasta luego.